What in the world, boy? It's your boy Big Low Country. For everybody out there that don't know me, my name is Big Low Country. I'm just old country boy, former football coach. I love to sit around and talk about sports. You could have been anywhere in the world tonight, but you're here with us, and I definitely and greatly appreciate it. First of all, if you're watching the show after we went live already, make sure you put a what in the world, Bo, in the comments. Also, make sure you share the channel with your friends and family. Look at here, Bo. It's a celebration. Clap, clap, bravo. We turning up with a side of Moscato. Oh, wait a minute. That's barefoot bubbly. My bad. What in the world, but we're here having a good time, man. Atlanta Falcons. South side to my homeboy B Tucking in here. Atlanta Falcons. 3-0 in the South. Say it one more time for the folks in the back low. 3-0 in the NFC South. 4-0 in the NFC. Good googly moogly. The NFC South is going to be swept by the Atlanta Falcons. That's the hope. That's the hope. That is the hope. So y'all already know how we do it. You know, I got to show love to everybody that's showing love to me. So if you're just coming into the chat, make sure you put a comment in the chat so we can definitely show you some love. Y'all already know what time it is. Shouts out to my homeboy Tim in here. Tim says, salute, coach, and Bird Gang. Shouts out to the coaching staff. What in the world, Bo? Brian Moses in here. What up, Lo? What's going on with you, man? He also put that 3 in the chat. If you went in there, you want to see what's up. 3 you going to beat them Bucks and you beat the 3 Look at him, man. You know it. Ed in here. What in the world, Bo? What's going on with you, Ed? Justin Swisher. Justin Swisher Sweet in here says, what in the world, Bo? Hey. Ho, ho. Cover 3 shell has got to go. Dang. Oh. Wow. Shout out to my homeboy Jack Spade and my homeboy T Wheeler. Wow. Hey, ho. Cover 3 shell has got. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Glad you mentioned that, Justin, because we're definitely going to be addressing it. We're going to be addressing the elephants in the room when it comes to this Atlanta Falcons victory. Look here, back in the day, we would talk about the good things and the bad things that we saw, but most of the time it was as a result of losses. It feels weird having constructive criticism, and you know what? According to corporate jargon, let's go with corporate jargon. Opportunities. We're finding opportunities for the Atlanta Falcons to get better, so we can make this deep playoff run. And who knows, we might run up against the Detroit Lions, who looked awesome yesterday, or I mean the Buccaneers. We gonna have to match up against them sometime soon. I was just talking to Uncle Steve a little bit earlier. He said, "Hey man, they're gonna try to get it back in blood." So look, it's one of those cases where we're going to be talking about the opportunities, but we're also going to be highlighting some of the great things that the Atlanta Falcons did yesterday / last night, because look man, it was great. It was great. If anybody else, like, was it weird for y'all watching 4:00 game? That was especially weird. Me, Coach Rona, Shady, the rest of the family, we went up to Tennessee. Watched Tennessee Volunteers whoop up on them Florida Gators. Coach Rona, especially enjoyed it because she can't stand the Florida Gators. But we eat the win out in overtime. But we had a great time, man. We were singing Rocky Top all night long. Brian Hughes in here. Hey, boy, I'm riding high. You already know it. We having a good time. Jalen's in here. Says Kirko change is what we needed. Where your chain at, Bo? 3, man. Well, I feel naked. I ain't got the chain. Man, boy, I'm gonna have to tighten up. Hit that Kirko on him. Oh man, Tracy. Coach Brownlee's in here, says 3 Victory Monday. Jamel Hill. What in the world, Bo? What's going on with your fam? Cool Beans. What in the world, Bo? Them Dirty Birds winning. Yes, them Dirty Birds getting them dubs. Rounds 1 in here. Hey, Coach Low in chat. Definitely, man. Y'all know what time it is. It's a coaches meeting. It's going to go down like there's a whale in the boat. We feeling good. We got to, look, we streaking. 3-game winning streak. 3 Oh, yeah. Is that why everybody doing the 3 3 If you beating them Saints and the Bulls. 3 That's what we throw up when we get them dubs. 3 Shout out to it. Now, look, I don't know if everybody realized this, but there's a few consistencies that's been going on while we get some of these wins. Number one, I've been watching Jackson 5 American Dream every week before the game. And the Atlanta Falcons have been undefeated ever since that diss track dropped. Ever since the diss track dropped, the Atlanta Falcons ain't lost the game. Oh, that's you think you finna win in the Benz, huh? Fans all confused, thinking that they're gonna win, huh? That's it, boy. You already know what time it is. Keith Richard here. What's good, man? Says I'm ready for that NFC South roundtable. Look here, I hit the boys up a little bit earlier. Well, wait a minute. First of all, I hit them up last night after everybody had played. Crickets. You thought Jimmy the Cricket had a family reunion in there. Ain't nobody say nothing. I like, wait, hold on now. We gotta give the people what they want. We ain't finna get on here and have a good time and everything. But I put another one in there later on today. Everybody's like, yeah, man. Well, no, I'm sorry. Big Q was like, hey, just let me know when, Lo. And, I'm going to jump on in there. So I'm still waiting on Big Game James. He's going through, he's always tied up with his coaching and getting his son recruited to play at college. So, he got his thing going on. And, man, Rashad and Day, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know. They got it. Look, they got that hate in their heart. I don't know what's going on with Rashad and Dave. If y'all see Rashad and Dave, tell them, hey, I've been looking for you there, boy. Bye. tell them I'm looking for him. Big John Higgins is Big Low Country. What it do? First place time. Going to enjoy for the moment. Hey, don't we have 340-pound defensive tackle sitting over there on the bench? You didn't have to call out my weight, coach. Like you have to, you don't gotta be telling everybody how much. No, you had to call me out. You ain't got to do me like that. WCG in here says, the defense Falcons are running. It's the same crap that Raheem is known for, and why I didn't want him. Like I said, I'm glad that y'all bringing this up. I'm glad that y'all bringing this up because this is definitely something that we are going to be addressing. Rounds one says hello. I'm sorry, Dre says rounds one. Hello, beloved. How are you doing and feeling on this pretty Monday night tonight, beloved? Hello, yes sir. It's Monday night. He also says, what it do, beloveds? What's the business is, beloveds? How are y'all beloveds doing and feeling on this nice pretty Monday night? Hello, you already know it, man. Gutter Golston's in here. Gutter. He says, John Higgins says we got to start to run better than we did on Sunday. Raymond Elder says, what in the world, Bo? What in the world, Bo? You know it. Brian Hughes says, I was in deep at 4:00 game. Hey, man. Yeah, the 4:00 games hit different. But our Atlanta Falcons did get that win, 38-20. I was talking to the Tennessee coaches on Sunday before the game. We were just chilling out at the facility, and they were saying that, hey, y'all playing the Panthers, man, shoot, that's gonna be an easy win for y'all. I like, hey, don't do that to me, coach. Like, don't, nah. We every team is getting the same kind of energy. We ain't gonna sit here and cut anything short or assume nothing. We ain't assuming nothing. Everybody's getting the same energy, coach. And it was like, see, that's how I know the Big Low coach. Cause Big Low, he talked like one. I like, nah, yeah, we ain't finna cut nothing short. Nah, ain't no shortcuts, bro. Nah, they finna get the same work everybody else get. So it's look. We started the game off, and it was kind of touch and go. Panthers, they scored first. They came out, hit us in the mouth. But it's like I tell Coach Roney all the time. It's all about whenever you get hit in the mouth and you taste your own blood, what do you do? Because when you taste your own blood, it get primal. You be wanting to overreact. You just be wanting to jump on in there, and you sometimes you don't want to think. But whenever you taste your own blood, what do you do? We tasted our own blood yesterday. Came back, hit him in the mouth. We ended up taking the lead. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we ever gave it back to him. It wasn't nothing like Cliff's daddy when he was talking on the Cosby Show, giving him a little shoulder and taking it right back. Now, we wasn't doing that. We didn't give them a little leg and take it right back. No. We didn't give them a little lead and take it right back. That's what the old Atlanta Falcons do. Nah. We took that lead and we kept it. In the words of Mama Country, you get what you can. You can what you get. And you sit on that can and growl. And that's what we did. As we end up taking what wrong, Coach, right? So it does. J Boy says, "Oh, what in the world, Bo? Falcons fixing to make a statement. Get your moonshine ready." Oh yeah. It's on deck. We ready. We ready and we ready and willing, ready to go. Shouts out to my brother Padre. What's good, Coach Lowe? Coach staff. Hope everybody doing all right. Shouts out to Padre. He also came with the first Superman chat of the night. He says, "Hey, Coach, you need to play 8 Shall knocking the boots to start off the round table." Hello, I hang up and listen. Goodness gracious, Coach. Dun, dun, dun. That's a Superman chat. Man, knocking the boots. Look, I guess we getting some good love. I don't know. I don't know, Padre. Good, yes. There you go. Getting some good dubs. Somebody knocking the boots. Keep rocking. It feels so good when we beat the Saints. I'm so addicted. Oh man. But look, at the end of the day, it's like I said in the post game video. Mom Country always told me, look, you don't play with your food, son. You eat it. Don't play with it. You eat it. Panthers were food yesterday. We went ahead and did what we need to do. We ate. We went to work, started off, and we cleaned the plate. Yes, it was kind of touch and go. A lot of people are getting upset about the defense. A lot of people are getting upset about the pass rush. A lot of people getting upset that we gave that touchdown away right before halftime. And I completely understand. But we also got to take in consideration, and I hate to sound like Arthur Smith, the variables. You got to take the variables into consideration. You got to consider the variables because, yes, we run cover 3 shell. If we look at traditionally at the defenses in the past that run cover 3 shell, they don't normally get a lot of sacks. They really don't. So before we get into the defense, I know that's something that everybody really wants to talk about. Let's talk about the positives. So some of the positives that we have: Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson. I don't know if anyone heard the quote from the interview after the game. Look at here. Kirk Cousins says, "Hey, you throw the ball to score touchdowns, but you run the ball to win games." That's all I need to hear, Bo. You throw the ball to score touchdowns. You run the ball to win games. When you hear your quarterback say that, you know that he's in this thing to win some. He's in the thing to win some games, Bo. When you hear your quarterback say that, like, oh, okay, let's lock it low. That just makes me, as an offensive lineman, that would just make me want to run block better. As a tight end, and we've seen Kyle Pitts getting out there and getting after it a few times, that makes me want to get in front of somebody and move my feet. You throw the ball to score touchdowns. You run the ball to win games. Everybody, let's give a round of applause to this running game. When I say the running game, I mean not just Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson, but also Warner, Kyle Pitts, and that whole offensive line. Not only that, but to also Kurt Warner. There was a few times where he canned some of those first plays that he got, would have had an audible into a running play. And I mean, we were getting off chunk yards. And the crazy thing is that the running game worked the way that we wanted it to work because as the game went on, that's when we were starting to rip off those big runs. And it was a beautiful thing to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So shouts out to that offensive line in that run game. That's what you want. I ain't gonna lie to you. What you got there is that was a playoff type. That was a playoff kind of win. And look, I know that it was against the Carolina Panthers. I completely understand that, but the style in which we won, that's the kind of game that you have to have in the playoffs to win games. Because I mean, you can't be one dimensional. Let's keep it a buck, guys. You can't be one dimensional. You got to be able to score, and you got to be able to win games in different facets. Think about it like this right here: against the Saints, how do we win? We won off of special teams play, a defensive touchdown, and I mean, the offense didn't even really look that good, and we ended up winning that game. Look at the Bucks game. We weren't really running the ball that well. So what did we do? We went ahead and aired that thing out like Tony Montana. We aired that thing out. 509 passing yards, franchise record, won the game in overtime. Yesterday, what did we do? We could throw the ball. Yes, we could. But Kirk Cousins says, hey, I mean, the run was there. So the first time since Michael Vick and Jarius Norwood, two players over 100 yards. You're winning in different ways, guys. And that's an attribute to your coaching staff. For everyone who was, upset and kind of up in arms about Raheem Morris and kind of iffy, people saying, man, we still got Bill Belichick. Raheem Morris just won 3 different ways. He just won 3 different ways. And then the fourth win that you got against the Philadelphia Eagles, all facets of the game were taken advantage of to get that win. That's coaching. That's the difference between this team and the teams that we had in the past, if we keep it a buck. Because the teams that we had in the past, we can only win one way. I mean, am I right or am I wrong? If I'm lying, I'm flying, y'all. The teams that we had the last 3 years, where we went 7-10 over and over and over again, we can only win one way. If it was a situation, y'all remember, I called it whenever we played the Bengals. I said, hey, y'all, we're not going to be able to score with the Bengals. We're going to lose this game, and it's going to be a horrible. And what happened? We lost horribly. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There were times whenever we would play games, and the other team, they were just great at stopping the run. Whenever they were great at stopping the run, and we had to put the ball in Desmond Ritter's hands. I mean, he for lack of a better, I ain't gonna say it on air, but for lack of a better term, he would literally defecate the bed and fumble the snap 3 times, or fumble the ball literally walking into the end zone. It's like, so if it's one of those situations, what's going on, Brian Peoples? What in the world, Bo? If it's one of those situations where you talk about winning with this team wins in multiple ways. You got to love it, Bo. You got to love it. Ghost says AJ got a pick. He needed it, and we needed to see it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a beautiful thing. Shouts out to Red Swarm in here. Red Swarm, what in the world, Bo? What's going on with you? Now, you talk about, we're talking about the offense. Y'all, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts are looking legit. It's amazing how a good quarterback can make you look good, right? Let's keep it a book. Having a good quarterback just like having a good woman. If you got a good woman, it's just gonna take you up to a whole nother level. It's gonna take you up to a whole nother level. You in a relationship, not just a good woman, but just a good significant other. If you're in a relationship with a good significant other that supports you, that pushes you to do better, that shows you where you have opportunities, it's just going to make you a better person. It's going to make you a better man, better woman, better father, better mother, better employee. It's going to take you to a whole nother level. That's what it's like with a good quarterback. Now I know a lot of people talking about Kyle Pitts. you know, not running that fade route to the, to the pylon. I don't know what happened there. I know that it could have been a situation where he thought Kirk Cousins was going to go somewhere else, and he didn't run the route to the best of his ability. Kirk Cousins did get a little bit of pressure, but the thing is that if you're running a fade, right, and some of my wide receivers that are in the chat, some of my wide receiver coaches that are in the chat, if you're running a fade, there's a couple of different ways that you can run it, but they taught us. Well, we taught them, whenever you're running that route, whenever you do your breakdown, you want to, you see that motion, bring that chest down to your abdomen. And, if you're doing a break, if you're getting out of it, pop back up and run it. The thing with Kyle in that route that he ran, he kind of just came off. And I think it was one of those cases where he didn't feel like the ball was coming to him. So I don't know if it's a miscommunication. Kirk Cousins got pressured. And Kyle was like, or maybe it was just good acting coming off the ball. And Kyle was acting like he wasn't going to do nothing. Then he was going to break a little bit later. But, yeah, it didn't look good. Fact of the matter is, we got the touchdown anyway. And if it's one of those situations where it could just be an opportunity to get better. Red Swarm Man says, good evening, kings and queens. Coach Roney, I hope that everybody in the chat is doing well. We appreciate that, Red Swarm. Much love to you, boy. Raymond Elders in here says, hey, Coach, this offense is giving off 2016 offensive energy. 2016 energy? What in the world, boy? What you talking about? Brian Peebles also says, look what I can do. Art Smith playbook. Look what I can do. Yes. That's what that is, Brian Peebles. The look what I can do, Art Smith playbook. ATL hometown, Atlanta Falcons says, I feel like I'm flying right by our live cast. I got stats from different angles. Let's go. I ain't naked yet. Let's go, Root. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Bo. Johnny R also says, what in the world, Bo? Let's go Falcons 4-2. Next opponent, Seattle Seahawks at the Bench. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Seattle Seahawks at the Bench. Let my homeboy Let Us Praise in here. Shouts out my homeboy Let Us Pray. Great content creator, great Atlanta Falcons content creator. Y'all make sure y'all check him out over there on YouTube. Great, man. Great lives. I definitely enjoy it. I listen to him while I'm working all the time. He says he was kind of lazy. Those are the words you're searching for. I'll say it. Look, I ain't been. I look. I don't know exactly what happened. So I ain't finna look. I was always taught I ain't finna talk about nobody when I don't know what happened. Other people need to make sure they take that into consideration when they talk about folks. Because I mean, some folks, I mean, let's be honest, they just get on here and lie. Some folks just get on here and lie. I ain't gonna get on here and lie. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the call was. I don't know what the route was that was called. I don't know if it was a run initially that got canned and Kyle Pitts didn't hear it. I don't know. So I ain't finna sit here and say what it is. So, like I said, folks just get on here and lie. Anytime, let us pray. My homeboy Will Amy here says, that's gonna be a tough one. But our defense have to show up this game against the Seattle Seahawks. Yes. And I mean, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. I mean, but somebody mentioned it a little bit earlier. With this offense having 2016 offense vibes, it's one of those cases like, does your offense really need? I mean, I'm sorry, does your defense really need to be, the Stonewall Jacksons of the world? Like they really need to. Does it really need to be one of those situations where they're, getting 5-6 sacks a game and holding teams to less than 30 yards on the ground? I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's what the defense needs. Um, I know that the type of defense that the Atlanta Falcons run is frustrating. I'm just going to say it's frustrating and it's hard to watch. I don't know if anyone can remember whenever we got Jimmy Lake, and um, we I know what kind of defense that he runs because he was at Washington, and I had a long sit down with the DB's coach at Florida, who was at Washington under Jimmy Lake. Jimmy Lake is his mentor. He kind of told me what they run in certain situations, and kind of explained that they run that cover three shell. And if anyone can remember me saying that this defense is going to be very much like Dan Quinn's soft, it felt like a prevent defense. If y'all can remember me saying that, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't remember me saying that, put a 2 in the chat. Also, can you, if you haven't yet, could you please do a country boy a favor and hit that like button? If you hit that like button for me, I promise you I'll dance at your wedding one day. Ephraim Jones is in here. Ephraim Jones, Julio Jones' little brother. He says, hey, Bo, when y'all having that NFC South round table? Oh, yeah. Look, it's coming. I'm trying to get everybody together. Like I said, y'all go over there to Rashad and Dave. Go over there to Rashad and Dave channel and tell Rashad and Dave that, we looking for them. Tell them they need to stop playing games and come on over here. Oh, man. April Thomas says, what's going on, April? How you doing tonight, family? Hope you're doing good. ATL Hometown says, Lo, I don't know how to take you. Are you country and skin a buck, or just practice or just practice the 40-yard dash? Look here, man. We do it all. We do it all. Oh man. Jamel thinks, he says, if your offense can't outscore everybody, if your offense can outscore everybody, then we good. Yeah. At the end of the day, the goal is to score more points than the other team, right? Now, whenever we talk about the defense, and this is something that I really want the fan base to kind of listen to. So if it's one of those cases where you know um, you had this conversation with anybody, in the last 24 hours, having this conversation about the defense, saying that you don't like it, feel free to share this show with them, because we're going to talk about it in depth. Because you're talking to a guy who coached a lot of different defenses. So the Atlanta Falcons run a cover three shell, 3-4 defense for the most part. Now, the fact of the matter is that cover three shell is basically your two cornerbacks on the outside, and you're going to have a single high safety who's playing the middle of the field, and he's going to be as far back as the deepest person. Then those cornerbacks, they're going to be as far back as the deepest person on the sidelines. They're pretty much going to let everything up underneath them take place, and those guys are going to try to come up and get the tackle. Now, where you have your creativity is with that other safety that's dropped down in the box, which is why getting Justin Simmons was such a big deal, right? Because whether it's Jesse Bates or Justin Simmons dropping down in the box, they're going to be down there and kind of reading the quarterback, looking at the hints that the quarterback's giving, and kind of going off of the the film that they watch and kind of predict what the quarterback's going to do. Now, what that quarterback is doing almost every time, he's looking at that box safety and he's looking at that high safety. They teach quarterbacks, always remember to look at that safety to see what he's going to do, and then you can determine how how that defense is going to be run, and you can kind of have your predisposed, targets. Now, moving forward, those linebackers, those are the guys that really stir the drink, right? Because, like I said, you're going to be running that cover three, so you got your three high guys that are just a cloud over the defense. Then most likely you're going to have a nickel cornerback or a star cornerback who's going to be probably playing the hook zone. to the open side of the field. The open side of the field, that's the side of the field that's not close to the sideline. So he's probably going to be playing the hook zone. Those linebackers, they're going to be playing pretty much everything up underneath that. You may say, hey, coach, that doesn't sound that aggressive. Thing is that Kirby Smart led the Georgia Bulldogs his first year as a defensive back in interception. Most of those interceptions came from tips and overthrows. This defense is made for getting pressure on the quarterback. If anybody can remember me saying hot balls all year long, make sure you put a 3 in the chat. But this defense is basically made for getting interceptions on tips and overthrows, because you're supposed to be putting pressure on your quarterback. That's why we got a Matthew Judon. But the thing is, the reason why we're seeing all of these easy completions is that these quarterbacks, they're literally saying, hey, we're just going to throw underneath and we're going to get what we could get, especially on first downs, and we're going to put ourselves in a good situation. That's why you see a lot of times the Falcons are put in those second and thirds, second and twos, 3 and 1s, and we're trying to get stops that way. Now, this is done for a few reasons. One reason it's done is to make sure that you don't let deep plays go over your head. You don't want explosive plays have people feeling themselves. And while I'm talking about that, we're just going to highlight all the ones where people said they remember me saying that, hey, this defense is going to be kind of frustrating. Just switch. The person says, amen, frustrating indeed. It's reactive defense. It's not an attacking one. Yes, you're completely right. I completely agree. Jonathan Rozier, Dre, shouts out to you, Dre. Let us pray. Raymond Elder said he don't remember it. Yeah, we definitely talked about it. Jay Boy, he says one. Jayla says one. You ain't never lied. Shouts out to you, Daryl. Daryl and Dre, the married couple, the married coaches in here. Dre Murphy, they all say they remember it. Now, the thing is, oh my goodness, yes, Brian Van Gorder. Yes, Brian Van Gorder ran a variation of this. He says his defense reminds you of Brian Van Gorder's defense when Mike Smith was head coach. Yes. Yes, and he did the same thing at Georgia Southern. But Tabro and everybody else, they say they remember this Red Swarm. So there's a few different reasons why teams run this. Number one is because they don't want an explosive play to go over the top, because you don't want them getting a deep pass and them feeling themselves, and now you worried about what's going on behind you and you can't come up, and all of that. I mean that's the thing. You got to remember, Jimmy Lake is a DB's coach. He's trying to protect his guys. That's what everybody does. Everybody who has a higher position, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach, they try to protect their position group. That's what Archie Smith tried to do. Try to protect his position group. Shouts out to you, Tyler Russell. But the fact of the matter is, another thing that is for is to protect that cornerback. Does anybody know how many tackles Mike Hughes has this season? Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see how many tackles Mike Hughes has this season. One of the biggest issues that we said, and one of the biggest things that we thought that we might need to do, is to go ahead and get we said we might need to go ahead and get another cornerback on the other side of AJ Terrell. If you're not running man coverage, you're running zone. That cover 3 is to protect, especially that number 2 cornerback against that number 1 wide receiver. Because if you put a guy out there that you don't fully trust, he's gonna get his draws burnt off. So we say, hey, we're gonna be safe, try to get to the quarterback, and try to force some tip balls, some overthrows, and see what we could do there. And then if it's one of those situations where they just walk down the field on us, we'll see if we can get that stop in the red zone, because it's a whole lot harder to score in the red zone. Look, for all my guys out there that play Madden, or if you're a youth football coach, You get in that red zone, run cover 3 and see how hard it is for the other team to score against you. It's a whole lot harder for a team to score in the red zone if you're running cover 3 because you basically have 3 other defenders. You have the sidelines on both sides, and you have that back. You have the back of the end zone. Everything is condensed. That's the reason why they run the cover 3. They're trying to trust their defensive line to get to the quarterback, and they're trying to protect Mike Hughes and the rest of the secondary. I don't know if y'all noticed, your boy Clark Phillips is getting a little bit more run. And the thing is that he got a little bit more run whenever they started playing man coverage. AJ Terrell got that pick. They were playing man coverage. Andy Dalton wasn't expecting that. He been seeing cover 3 and zone all day long. They ran that man coverage. What happened? 2 picks. 2 picks and a pass defense. That's what I'm saying, guys. It's like, so whenever we look at it, man, there's a lot of 3 eats. Shout out to everybody with the 3 eats in the chat. Raymond Ellis said, "Our pass rush is atrocious." Yeah, man. Look, it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, look, if it's one of those situations where whenever you finally do run man coverage, they bring in Clark Phillips, and Clark Phillips has, we might as well call it a pick 6. Might as well call it a pick 6. So, I mean, I know it's frustrating. Guys, but we have to look at it like this right here. This defense just got together, right? And there's a whole lot of new pieces. You look at this defense, you have the Matthew Judons, the Rooks, and Brandon Dorless, who still hadn't got any playing time, the Justin Simmons of the world. I mean, JD Bertrand in the Tampa Bay game. You got a lot of new pieces. Yes, I know that y'all heard me say a lot of times that it's harder for an offense to get together and be cohesive opposed to a defense. Yes, you've heard me say that. But it still takes time for a defense to get things together. It really does. And I mean, Matthew Judon's the only one. Matthew Judon's the only one that's getting pressure. Look here. Everybody out here saying, hey, man, I don't know what's going on with Lorenzo Carter. Lorenzo Carter need to get benched. At least Lorenzo Carter's getting back there. I understand that it's a situation where we want to see him get the sack and bring somebody down. I understand that. And hey, it's Andy Dalton out there running around there looking like the second coming of Randall Cunningham. I completely understand that. But think about it like this right here, guys. He got back there. Steven Means wasn't getting back there. Who else? What other no-name guys? There are a lot of other no-name guys. I can't even remember their name. They wasn't even getting back there. So, I mean, you say he needs to get benched. I mean, I understand that. But at least he's getting back there and he's affecting the quarterback. We don't know what's to happen next time. Now, if it's a situation he gets back there 10 times and he only converts once, okay, we have a problem. There's something that you're just doing wrong. Either you're just not strong enough to tackle somebody, or we need to. It's a coaching issue. But there's something that's wrong. But as far as benching Lorenzo Carter for getting a hurry, like let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes. Yes, the defense, the defense. The defense looked bad yesterday against the run. I mean, I agree with you. But one thing that I also keep in mind is that Chuba Hubbard is second in the league in rushing to King Henry himself. A lot of people don't realize that. Chuba Hubbard, he been toting that rock, Bo. Buddy trying to get that contract. So, I mean, I understand it looks bad. I understand that, but it's going to take some time. One thing that you got to remember is that, that's the beautiful thing about it being a team. You have offense, defense, and special teams. And sometimes, and we've seen this throughout the season, if one aspect of the game isn't working the way that it should, somebody else on the team picks up the slack. The running game wasn't working the way that it should last week against Tampa Bay. The passing game picked up slack. The offense wasn't working the way that it should against the Saints. The defense picked up the slack then. There's just going to be times whenever, sometimes, look, it's like my dad used to say all the time, it's going to rain in my field one day. One thing that we got to remember about getting sacks is you get sacks, it's about sacks come in bunches. Whenever we start really getting sacks, you going to get them. Somebody asked Adrian Claiborne 5-6 years ago, you gonna get sacks, you going to get them. So, I mean, I understand coming up to the season, coming up to this game, everybody was like, man, the Panthers offensive line, they struggling. Man, this could be a get right game for our defensive line. How many sacks we get? Did we get a sack? If I'm not mistaken, I don't think we got a sack last night. We ain't get no sacks, y'all. we didn't get no sacks last night. Wow. Whew, boy, that's tough. Let's pray since Lorenzo Carter been listening to that old Aaliyah jam because he wasn't running back, forth and forth, working up a good lather for them showers, Bo. All musty with no production. Come on, man. Come on now. You ain't gonna talk about Rizzo like that. They said that man running back, forth and forth. Take it back. Take it back. Oh man, Ray Fitz said, "Hey man, I sure miss Trice. He would have been a nice addition, setting the edge, rushing the passer." I mean, that's the thing is we we don't know. Braylon Trice, he could have came out here and he could have looked just like Arnold Ebiketie. Arnold Ebiketie named himself Dr. Pass Rush. The man named himself Dr. Pass Rush. And look, how he come out here looking. He looking like somebody who's trying to run. So he look like somebody run through the MARTA station to catch that train so he don't be late for work. He look like somebody who they don't want to be late for work, Bo. He always late. He like your cousin. Everybody got that cousin that's always late. That's Arnold Ebiketie. That's Arnold. He'll put on a move, but it'll be a second and a half too late. He'll come back there like, man, I almost got him. Right? So I mean, we can't say there's gonna be one of those cases where Braylon Trice will be that guy. I mean, we can't say that. Raymond Elder says, we're 32nd in sacks. What in the world, Bo? Yeah, we 32nd in sacks, but what are we in the division right now? We're 32nd in sacks, but what are we in the division? Let us pray. Say that's a malpractice. Dr. Nuts. Oh man. So look, let's look at Lorenzo Carter PFF grades. If we're talking about all that, let's look at his PFF grades and see how he's looking against the run before we sit here and say, Lorenzo Carter just trash. Because remember, it was one of those cases where, we're running that, like I said, we're running that cover 3 shell and you run it out of a 3-4. So as far as stopping the run and stopping the pass, especially in the middle of the field, because look here, we finna turn this coaches meeting. We've been turning this coaches meeting legit educational. I know it'd be about opinions and everything like that. Because someone tell me whose main priority or whose job is it to stop the run in a 3-4 defense? Whose job is it? Whose job is it to stop the run in a 3-4 defense? Put it in the chat. Let me know who you think whose job it is to stop the run in a 3-4 defense. Tramel thinks says, think the defense will get better as the season goes along, but the offense will carry us. I think the defense is gonna get better. So whose job is it to stop the run in a 3-4 defense? Whose main priority is it to stop the run? My apologies. I'm just pulling up Lorenzo Carter's PFF here. This is the Kata. All right, so let's see what everybody said. Okay, all right. Jay Murphy says the linebackers. Raymond Elder says linebackers. Gutter Golston says D-line. Okay. Mike Hollywood says the linebackers. Okay. Tyler Russell says linebackers. ATL Hometown says the whole defense, period. In theory, you're correct, right? Everybody needs to run to the ball. Make sure they take the right angles. Ray 50 says those inside linebackers. Okay. Um, WCG says the nose tackle that we don't have. Oh man. Let us pray says the line absorbs blocks to our middle linebacker to clean it up. Yes, yes. I mean, okay. Delay J says front seven. Okay, okay. So I mean, look. First of all, I'm enjoying everybody's answers, but the situation is, yeah. I mean, those linebackers, especially, are the ones that are supposed to be cleaning up those runs. So whenever if you visualize that 3-4, you got your three guys. You got your end, you have your nose tackle, and you have your other end. Depending on the alignment, that nose tackle, he'll line up shading that center shoulder on one side or the other, or he might be shading that guard shoulder, and then those ends they'll also shade those tackle shoulders. So basically, what they do is they try to rush whenever they hike the ball, and you want a nose tackle that would demand double teams. Like that's what the main job is. You want that center and that guard to double team that nose tackle, right? So those are two guys that are taken out of the equation. Then you want that tackle to be one on one with somebody, that other tackle to be one on one with somebody, and that other guard have to kind of make a decision on trying to help somebody in the run game. Now, we're talking about that run game. Then you want that linebacker to just be coming free, hitting gaps, shooting gaps, decisively shooting gaps. You got your A gap, your B gap, and your C gap. So the A gap, that's basically guard to guard. And your B gap is guard to tackle. Your C gap, that's outside your tackles. So you want it to be one of those situations where those middle linebackers, they're shooting those A gaps, or depending on the play call. Then one is shooting that B gap, and those outside linebackers, they're most likely sitting the edge on that C gap and making sure nothing comes on the outside. So you want to be one of those cases where those linebackers are making plays. Now, that's Lorenzo Carter's job. What Clay Melton says, Lorenzo Carter been awful. Uh, Richard says it's the linebacker. Yeah, you're completely right. That's Lorenzo Carter's job. So let's see how. Oh my goodness, boy, this is gonna be ugly, boy. Y'all gonna eat me alive when I show y'all this. Let's see how Lorenzo Carter. Let's see how Lorenzo Carter been looking so far this season when it comes to the run game. Oh my goodness. Let me know you see my screen. If you can see my screen, put a one in the chat. Oh man. All right. So y'all can see here. Overall grade 39, run defense 35, pass rush 47. Y'all are completely right. Lorenzo Carter has not been doing that well this year. Hopefully he could turn it around. He got 8 stops, 11 tackles, 5 assists, 4 total pressures, 1 hurry. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he's definitely struggled this year. As a matter of fact, let me show you. y'all leave this man alone. Y'all leave this man alone. Talk about horrible, just disgusting. Say, bro, tell my man horrible, just disgusting. Straight up, I know you lied. Y'all leave this man alone. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Cheryl Gunner, Mike. Thank y'all so much for helping me out. Look, all right. So let's look at what he's been doing per game, right? So let's look at per game. All right. So per game, his tackling grade is I look probably those. If I'm not mistaken, he missed 2 sacks, right? So 33% of the time he missed a tackle. So you got 3 tackles on Saturday. I mean on Sunday. One of them missed. So I guess that's that one on Andy Dalton that he missed that pissed everybody off. But I mean, run defense is. I mean, it hadn't been looking good for. It hadn't been looking good for Rizzo. Rizzo need to tighten up. Uh, that Buccaneer game. Bucky Irvin and Rashad White. They were kind of exposing him a little bit. Yeah. I mean, so look, y'all might have some. There might be something to what y'all saying. As far as run defense, pass rush, it ain't looking. They ain't too many greens out here. Rizzo Carter, look, he the farmer. He need to make sure he has something green on his plate. But look, the fact of the matter is that we're still early in the season, and there's always a chance where he could turn it around. There's always a chance where he could turn it around. So look, I know somebody they mentioned Arnold Ebiketie. Let's look at Arnold Ebiketie and see what Arnold Ebiketie's doing. That might be one of those things because look, we all know that you know one of the big things about being a coach is putting your guys in a good position to be successfully successful. Now, I don't know how Arnold's been looking so far this season, but it's kind of like that dude that was in there. did anybody did anybody watch the clip from the slapping, what is it, the American slap circuit or whatever it's called? We know whenever the people just slap somebody and then they turn around and get slapped too. Anybody ever see that clip? It says or whatever, the dude slapped the guy. He slapped him. He just ate that slap like, you must don't know me, boy. But you about to find out. Then he turned around and walked off. I would have been like, okay, I'm good after that. Well, look, we about to find out what's going on with Arnold and McKinney. Lord have mercy, boy. Oh man, I crack myself up sometimes. All right, so we about to find out. Let's see here. All right, so Arnold Ebiketie, his grades actually look a little bit better. Than Renzo Carter. Pass rush, actually looks like Sunday was his best pass rush game. He had 2 hurries, 2 hits on the quarterback, no sacks, of course. Had a batted ball. Run defense wasn't too good though. I mean, you gotta, that's one thing that I've noticed. They bend it back. They bend it back on us a lot in that running game. So yeah, I mean, so based off of the stats here, Arnold Ebiketie had the best game of the season, had his best game of the season based off you know what, that New Orleans game or that Philadelphia game would beg to differ. But from a pass rush standpoint and a coverage standpoint, he had the best game of the young season. So, but the fact of the matter is, guys, what's going on, Black Tool? The fact of the matter is that it's going to be one of those cases where these guys are still trying to put everything together. It's going to take a while for them to put everything together. Coach's Corner here says no matter what we do as far as moving people around, our defense as far as run and getting pressure is not going to change until we get out of that 3-4. We do not have the size, and that's why it doesn't work. And I don't know if y'all remember. And see, this is what I love about the coach staff. I don't know if y'all remember me saying this. I kept saying we need to get a guy with a hot dog on the back of his neck to run that defensive tackle position. But we all know that Raheem Morris and Dan Quinn, they love those small defensive tackles, those attacking defensive tackles who shoot gaps and just cause pressure and just cause chaos. They rather have the speed opposed to having the guys that could take those double teams and keep those guards from getting to that next level. So I mean, it's one of those. I mean, look, we got to consider what we're working with. Dom says, I got to go, Big Low. I'm at work right now. Much love, Bo. I appreciate you for coming on and chopping it up with me, man. I appreciate you. Hold on 1 second, y'all. What's up, Jack? Yeah, I'm on the show. I'm on the show right now. I'm doing a show. Yeah. Uh, all right. Not what I got up to my ear because I ain't want you to say something crazy. I ain't want you rise up. All right. All right, man. I'll take it easy, bro. My bad, y'all. That was old Jack. You know, Jack. Jack's me trying to schedule some golf. Trying to schedule some golf for the weekend. But yeah, I mean, it's one of them situations where we're still early in the season. We're literally a third of the season done, right? And it's one of those cases where we're 4-2. We should be 5-1. We're 4-2. We're leading the division. Haven't lost any games in the division or the conference. The defense can only get better from here. Somebody mentioned earlier in the chat, we're 32nd in the league in sacks. And we played some pretty good quarterbacks. We played the Patrick Mahomes of the world. We played the Baker Mayfield, who some people say is an MVP candidate. You know, we played the great Andy Dalton. I'm just playing. We played the great Andy Dalton. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those cases, guys, where we got to legitimately look and consider, you know, how we got to look. We legitimately have to consider where we're at and where we're trying to get to. The same way that this offense wasn't looking its best at the beginning of the season, we could legitimately say the same thing for this defense. We could legitimately say the same thing for this defense. Because I mean, I'm just looking at the stats here. Give me one moment. I'm just looking at the stats here as far as this Atlanta Falcons defense. And I mean that look, there are a few things that could definitely change. There are a lot of things that could change. So, all right, let me pull this up for you. All right, y'all let me know if y'all can see my screen. And I'll make this a little bit bigger for you. We're just looking at what we got right now, y'all. If you can see my screen, put a 3 yeet in the chat. But I mean, as far as the the aspect of okay, this is pass rush. As far as run defense, I think it put me on pass rush. Okay, so as far as run defense, the two guys that we're looking at, and this is where numbers really come into play. The two guys that we're looking at, who we say are the biggest, it's their biggest responsibility to stop the run. They're two of the guys with the highest grade. Whenever you got your Nate Lamans and your Caden Ellises, those guys, they're coming up and filling gaps like they should in the run game. Now, mind you, Troy Anderson, early in the season, he struggled a little bit. But for all your middle linebackers to be in the mid 60s and higher, I mean, that's pretty good. So what is that telling you? That's telling you that your guys on the outside, like your James Smith Williams, your edge, Matthew Judon, unfortunately, at edge, Arnold Ebiketie at edge, those guys are struggling. Then you go farther on down the list, Lorenzo Carter at edge is struggling. So that's telling me, like, look, either we're not setting the edge the way that we need to, and y'all feel free to go back and watch the game because I know that I'm going to, and pay attention to how, because I mean I know I've seen a few times where the edge wasn't set, but I also see there was a few times where we were being held, and I don't know if we need to go to acting school or what, but I know it's one of those cases where we need to make sure that we're setting the edge and trying to get those guys from bending those plays to the outside. Because another trend that I'm seeing is Mike Hughes and AJ Terrell are two guys that are in your top four as far as your running grades, and they're cornerbacks. Now, just like we talked about earlier, when it comes to that cover three shell, the beauty of running that cover three is that your outside, your guys on the outside, your cornerbacks, those guys are going to be facing forward. They're going to be facing forward, either square to the line, or they're going to be turned at like a 45-degree angle so they can watch the quarterback, watch the receiver, and watch everything that's going on to the side as well. So, but the beauty of that is that if there is a run, they can just come up and get the tackle, opposed to being in man coverage and running around chasing somebody around. They bend it to your side, and your linebacker gets caught up in the trash or gets held or something. There's a big run. So that's why it's one of those situations where you're getting a whole bunch of 7, 8, 9 yard runs, 14-yard runs, because I mean, let's be honest, it looks like the edge just ain't being the edge ain't being set the way it's supposed to be. ATL Hometown says, I apologize to you, Big Lou and Ronnie. We will do good for the rest of our You already know it, man. You already know it. Tremel says, we good. The defense doesn't have to be great in order to win a Super Bowl. Do your research. So I mean, so look, that was actually going to be my next question. First of all, do y'all feel like we could still make a Super Bowl run with the defense looking the way that it's looking right now? If you feel like we can make a Super Bowl run, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like it's one of those kids situations where like, I don't know, Bo, put a 2 in the chat. I want to know what y'all thinking. I just want to know what y'all think. If you feel like it's one of those cases where we can make that Super Bowl run, put a 1 in the chat. You feel like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you might want to chill out on that. You might want to chill out on that, Coach. Put a 2 in the chat, because as of right now, that's the question that we're asking. And mind you, one thing that you have to remember is that one thing that we learned throughout the season is that if anything doesn't work, your boy Raheem Morris is going to be trying to have continuous improvement. He's not trying to just sit here and be like, yeah, we good. We good where we at. You know what I'm saying? Like Raheem Morris, he ain't gonna just sit here and be like, "Oh yeah, we good. Yeah, we don't need to change nothing." Raheem Morris is always trying to look for ways to get better. That's one big thing that I saw that Terry Fontenot said. Terry Fontenot was like, "Yeah, man, thing about Raheem Morris is that he would just call me in the middle of the night, and he'd just come up with an idea in the middle of the night. He's always trying to figure out ways how to get better." And I love that. I love that. Let's see. So let me see what everybody's thinking. Dre Murphy in here with the 3 yeet. Shouts out to the 3 yeet. Also, make sure that you hit that like button. Hit that like button for me. I promise you I'll dead situated one day. Raymond Elder says, nah, I don't know about that one, though. You might want to chill out on that one, Bo. You talk about winning the Super Bowl with a defense with 30-second pass rush. I don't know. Antoine Wartime says 1. It says, yeah, we could do it. Rounds 1 says 2. He says, I don't know about that one, Coach. Star Falcon says, yeah, we can go ahead and make that Super Bowl run. I ain't say win the Super Bowl. I ain't say be in the Super Bowl. I just said make a run. Vontae Scott, Nathaniel Callaway, Justin Switches, they say 2. Bot whatever says 2. Oh, heck no. Now look, how many sacks do we have through the first 6 games? One thing that I can tell you is that you're not going to be able to make a Super Bowl run getting a half sack a game. You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to make a Super Bowl run getting 0.6 sacks a game, 0.66 sacks a game, or whatever the Atlanta Falcons are getting. That's not going to happen. But like I said, if this team continues to get a little bit better, it'll be one of those situations where, if you're getting a sack and a half a game, you're getting some pressure that's causing some turnovers, causing some hot balls, then it's one of them situations where I can see us making that run. Clay Melton says run maybe 28-3 will always haunt us with this type of defense. I'm just saying. I mean, look, I ain't knocking you. About whatever says, what up, Coach Ronnie? I know you lurking somewhere. you know, Coach Ronnie. You know, Coach Ronnie probably peeping everything out. Coach Corner says, "Oh, we can make a Super Bowl run, but teams could just keep our defense on the field because they chew up the clock as they have been doing. If we simply go 4-3 and preferably 4-2-5, we will be absolutely unstoppable." And look, I completely understand, but it's like I said, Coach. You got to remember. You got to remember who's your defensive coordinator. Coaches are stubborn, Coach. If you think about it, if I've been in college and I've been getting paid $1.5 million for the last 12 years, running a 3-4 cover three shell, and I had guys like Byron Scott and other guys that just went to the league, and I had guys like Alatu and Braylon Trice that, you know, had that put up school record breaking numbers. It's like, why would I change from that? Right? That's what's gotten me paid. If I'm making $2.5 million in college doing this, why would I just say, okay, I'm gonna come to the league and I'm gonna run a 4-3. Like, nah, like coaches are stubborn. They're gonna do what's been working for them. They're gonna do what put them in the position that they're at. I mean, am I saying this right? No, I'm not. But I mean, I'm just calling it. I'm just calling it what it is. I know it's one of them situations where I know that a lot of coaches, i.e. Arthur Smith, ain't finna change from what he knows. I mean, that's just what it is, Coach. Antoine what time says 5. Ray Elder says 5. So yeah, 5 sacks in 6 games. So what you talk about? Point eight sacks a game. Bernard says 0.66 sacks a game is crazy. I know it is. Shouts out to you, Jim. How you doing today, fam? I know it's crazy, but unfortunately, that's just where we're at right now, Coach. That's just where we're at right now. Yeah, I mean, so I'm looking at the stats. D. Alford, you got a cornerback that got a sack on a quarterback blitz. Judon has 1.5. Grady has 1.5. So with D. Alford, Judon, and Grady, that's 4. And then David Onyemata, your defensive tackle, the guy who's supposed to be getting double teamed, has your 5th sack. That's ridiculous, Bo. That's ridiculous. It's kind of like the conversation I had with y'all last week. Is it the Jimmys and Joes or is it the X's and O's? That's the question. Because that 3-4 defense can be very disruptive. Very disruptive. You know, we've seen a lot of teams come through with that 3-4 defense and they run the stunts and the loopers and the creepers. And, you know, they run man coverage. Shouts out to Pittsburgh running that zone blitz and, you know, running the cover 9s and the cover 6s. You know, whenever you just got a cornerback that's just playing the flat on this side, but then on the other side, a cornerback's playing the deep third, and then you got this middle linebacker that's just sprinting to the cone, just sprinting to the corner route, and you know you got all that going on right there, and then you got the defense that we running. The defense that we're running is a soft cover 3 shell. It's a cream puff. It's a cream puff defense. It's soft. It's soft. You're playing bend but don't break defense, hoping that you can stop them. Before you hope you can stop them before they get to the red zone. If you can't stop them, you know you once they get to the red zone, you run that cover 3. It's going to be hard for them to throw for a touchdown. So it's going to be one of those cases where you know they're going to have to run it in. Then it's like our guys against your guys, and I'm just calling it what it is, guys. I'm just calling it what it is. Meanwhile, you look at the end of the game, whenever the game truly turned around, whenever those guys changed things up, ran some man coverage, You had 2 interceptions in 3 possessions. The proof is in the pudding, Bo. The proof is in the pudding. I was talking. Look, I was at the Georgia Tennessee game over the weekend. I'm not Georgia, Florida Tennessee game over the weekend, and they were running zone. They were running zone. They were running cover 2. I think they were running. I think they were running like cover 2 buzz, and it was one of those situations where what's it cover? It was kind of hard to tell from where I was sitting, but it was one of them situations where they were zoning out, and they were giving Florida everything underneath. They were giving them everything underneath. I was talking to. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Coach William Martinez. Used to be the DB coach at Georgia, legendary coach. And he said in the headset, like, hey, we need to go to man. Like, hey, we need to go to man. They went to man, locked them boys down. Like they ate too much bread, locked them up. Oh man. ATL says, bingo, we got top safeties. I mean, look, I that's what I'm saying. I mean, go ahead and run man. It's like let those 2 safeties who are the 2 best, because what it is that they're trying to drop that 1 safety down and just have him roam the middle of the field. Meanwhile, it's like you got 1 safety here in the deep third, and you got another one that might be offset that's in front of them. If I'm a quarterback, and you go back and watch the game, if I'm a quarterback, I'm just going, okay, Justin Simmons right here, Jesse Bates right there. All right, uh, uh, Mike Hughes, he's playing 10 yards off. He's gonna do 2 buck steps. Hey, what's the kid's name? Hey, Xavier Leggett, run an 8-yard out, 8 yards, 2nd and 2. We got Chuba Hubbard. He's the 2nd highest rusher in the game right now. He has the 2nd most yards in the game. We give Chuba Hubbard. We get a first down in 3 tries. We get a first down. Okay, they're doing the same thing. All right, Deontay Johnson, just run a 5-yard in. We'll see if you get something after the catch. If that linebacker's over here, it's no problem. There's going to be somebody running out over here on this side, or I have somebody running the drag up underneath it. He's going to have to make a decision, and we're going to get a respectable game. That's what I'm saying. You got to go man. The coach's corner says yes. The 3-4 is absolutely a monster if you have the size on the line to let your DB eat. We have a small defensive line and they get pushed around. They too light. That's it. They ain't got no bricks in their pockets. Terrell says, you got to put that belt to it and the coaching staff starts slipping. I don't know, Bo. I don't know. All I know is that we 4-2. We're leading the division, undefeated in the NFC. That's all I know. And all I also know is that it's one of those cases where this defense can only get better. I feel like we're in a great situation. You coming out here, you're beating the teams that you're supposed to beat. You're beating your division rivals. The Saints are losing. Ain't the football season nice? The Saints are losing. You're 4-2 in the division. I'm sorry, you're 4-2 and undefeated in the division. The football season is going beautifully. Man. All things pertaining says just checking in. Are you saying y'all don't like the job Jimmy Lake is doing? I ain't saying I don't like the job Jimmy Lake is doing. All I'm saying is that I feel like he has opportunities, right? Once again, he has opportunities. I don't feel like it's a situation where, I ain't saying I don't like what he's doing. We're 4-2. Jimmy Lake has been a great coach for a long time. Then you got Coach Gray that's coaching right there beside him, and all of these other Raheem Morris who's forgot more football than we ever know. Same thing with Jimmy Lake. He forgot more football than I ever knew. So yeah, I ain't saying that I despise what he's doing or anything like that. I mean, we've seen incompetent coaching. Like we've seen incompetent coaching in the past. I ain't sitting here saying that Jimmy Lake is just an incompetent coach. I ain't saying that because once again we're 4-2, but we are pointing out some opportunities. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Coach Corey said, "Yeah, we good. I just want us to be great." I ain't even knocking you, Bo. Tyler Rose said the football guards are smiling on us right now. Let's enjoy it. There you go. There you go. We got to have a good time with it. Like I said, look, we could have been the Saints. Oh, my bad, Molly Ma. We could have been the Saints. Everybody showed Molly Ma. So, hey, Molly Ma, did the Saints win yesterday? I just wondering. Let me know what the score was, Molly Ma. I don't. Let me know what the score is, Molly Ma. I was just wondering. Molly Ma says, "Hey, man, we about to get a new coach soon, so we good. You don't know if y'all get a new coach. I say let DA cook. Let that man cook. Y'all just ain't eating what he's cooking." Jay Murphy says, we had a good bit of sacks last year with Ryan Nielsen last year, though, beloveds. Hello, and you're completely right. And if you go back and watch the video that we made, highlighting Ryan Nielsen and that 4-3 defense that he runs. Look, man, it's a beautiful thing. I love Ryan Nielsen. It hurt me when we let Ryan Nielsen go. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. Coach Carter says, as much as I love us being 4-2 in the division and the Saints getting a 50-piece, all drums, mango habanero from Wingstop, put on them as possible. Exactly. I love it. I love it. 50-piece. 50 burger. About whatever said, yeah, man, they got that 50-piece dropped on them. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Molly Mall, where you at, Molly Mall? I'm just saying, what was the score yesterday? Molly Mall, I know you're in here somewhere. Let me know what the score was yesterday, because we were too busy watching our game. We were trying to see if we were gonna win. I didn't know what happened with the Saints. Tyler Russell says the only thing I wish we had done is had the team ready for the first few games a bit more. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it be like that sometimes. It's frustrating because sometimes coaches are going to do things that we don't agree with. But at the end of the day, it's their team. They don't come They don't come to my job and tell me how to handle insurance claims. They don't be like, "Hey, nah, coach. I think that other person's at fault because you know it's a situation where I don't know I don't know. Maybe you should go back and look at it. You need to get a scene diagram to see if it was a left turning arrow that way to make sure that he had the right of way. Because if he had a left turning arrow, it would have been one of those situations where if the other car was coming through, maybe they just ran their red light. They don't do that with me. So it's one of them situations where I can't sit here and say, "Yeah, man, you should have started. You should have played the starters in the preseason. How dare you?" I mean, at the end of the day, that's that man's job. All I can do is talk about it. I can have my opinion, but I ain't finna tell her. I ain't gonna be like, "Yeah, you suck." I ain't gonna do that. Mama says, "I'm not supporting my team right now. I'm on a strike." Mama, don't be like that. Keep that hate out your heart. All we want to know is what the score was. All we want to know. What was the score yesterday, Mama? Get that hate out your heart. You support your team. Stand by your team. Say Mel says Nielsen leaving was the only regret from the departures last season. And the crazy thing is, Nielsen, he went down to Jacksonville. It ain't like he doing too good. They ain't looking too hot down there. They ain't looking too hot. Look, Caleb Williams went out there to London. Burnt them boy draws off. Chris White says, we're winning while building. I don't understand the problem. Exactly. We're winning. And we have a chance for continuous improvement while we're winning. That's what's the most important thing. Right? Look, like I said, we can look at this. This is we're using opportunities just like a corporate job. We're just pointing out opportunities. I'm not saying that we don't like this, but we're just pointing out opportunities. Tyler Russell says the ants are back in town. The ants are back in town. Jay Murphy says, Mall. What y'all thought Spencer Rattler was going to be the answer to the test yesterday? He says, what y'all thought? He was going to come save y'all or something? Hello. Oh, you thought Spencer Rattler was your quarterback, huh? Oh man. About whatever says, the whole doggone time, uh, a whole lot of nothing ended with somebody getting 50 plus hung on them. About a whole bump behind Baker Mayfield. Look, Baker Mayfield going off against us. So I ain't finna say nothing. Baker Mayfield, he whooped up on us pretty good. I mean, we got the last laugh. We got the ball last, but shoot. Yeah, Baker Mayfield, hey, I ain't look. Baker Mayfield going off. The sign, what's going on? He says, what in the world, Bo? Go Falcons. Geek! Get you some. Yes, sir. You already know it. That's it. The Aints are back in town. The Aints are back in town. See, that's why we friends, Tyler. That's why we friends right there. Oh, man. Clay Mel says Ryan Nielsen was the right coach matchup for the personnel that we had. You're definitely right. You're definitely right. TW says the slow start, no reason play equals less injuries. I don't know, Bo. Look. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what Raheem Morris said he was looking for. He said that he didn't want to risk injury and risk some of his key guys missing, significant time. And I mean, we've had a few injuries early in the season, uh, J- um, which are Caleb McGarry. I was going to say Jalen Mayfield. Ooh, boy, man. I ain't gonna say his name 3 times because he might pop up. But with your Caleb McGarry's and your Drew Dahlmans, Nate Lamb, he just came back from IR. So I mean, look, I mean, we've had some injuries, but we haven't had like any long term significant injuries that's really affected us. Coach Carter says just because we winning, that don't mean to be okay with the issue that can be fixed. You should always want your team to improve. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's the thing about Coach Raheem Morris. I think Coach Morris is. I think it's one of them situations where I feel like he's continuously trying to improve. You know, like I said, um Terry Fontenot said, yeah, man, he's always trying to get better. He's always trying to put the team in a better situation. So I feel like running man at the end of the game yesterday was an example of how he's trying to help this team progress. He gave a different look in the fourth quarter, and I don't know if y'all remember this. You know, we were having those conspiracy theories last year, um, with Arthur Smith, and man, we were saying stuff like, well, maybe he's just waiting to show different looks for later on in the season when he really needs it. I mean, and I don't know. Maybe I'm throwing this out here for Raheem. Maybe Raheem Morris is waiting to, showing a different look just in case, later on in the year. But it's crazy that they say that man covers for the end of the game. Maybe it was just one of those situations where they were like, hey, let's just go ahead and put this away. All things pertaining says, you got an extra small soda at the next game, Big Love. I appreciate you, Bo. That's that. Dun, dun, dun. That's a Superman chat. Thank you so much, fam. You don't know how much we appreciate that, man. Much love to you, Bo. Much love to you. Trucker Mike's in here. He says, imagine what our receiving core would have been like if Rondell played this season. Boy, it would have been ugly. Plus, Helms come back this season, just a matter of time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Remember, I mean, Helms and Trice, they went out before the season even started. Russell Williams says, let's get our defense together and we'll be okay. Yeah, yeah. Remember this, guys, we went through the toughest part of the season. We like this stretch, that stretch that we just went through, that was the toughest part of the season. Everybody was like, hey man, if we get out of that 2-2, we good. Well, guess what? We're 4-2 and we're leading the division. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. Marlon Mall says, since Dennis Allen, our coach, I'm going to be quiet. But when he leave, I'm going to be talking again. Nah, Marlon Mall, you can't be like that now. You can't be like that. You got to keep that same in. Look, that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been doing here. A lot of people don't realize this. Ever since I've been a content creator, we've never had a winning season. That's crazy, right? Since I've been a content creator, we never had a winning season. So yeah, like look, I'm cashing out. Well, I'm sorry. I was saying cashing out to let y'all know I was finna, blow all of my funds, but I forget. Like the young folks says, I'm crashing out. Got a condo on my wrist, girl. I'm crashing out. I'm crashing out, bro. It's going down. Jay says, man, I wanted a 50 burger yesterday, though, beloved. Hello. Man, shouts out to Clark Phillips, man. Shouts out to him. I feel like Clark Phillips downing himself before getting that pick six. A lot of people said, hey, that was a big move that he made, and wanting to make sure that he secured the game. I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like that was him saying, "Oh, I finna be getting a lot more of these." And maybe that's just the way I'm looking at it. But I feel like that was him saying, "Oh yeah, I'm finna get a lot more of these. It's gonna be all right. I'm finna get a lot more of these." And I might be wrong. I very well could be wrong, but I feel like that was him saying. Everybody was like, "Hey, that would have been me. I would have got that pick six. I would have went ahead and ran it on in." And I know how I think because I'm kind of cocky. I like, you know what? I'm gonna down myself because I ain't even really need it right now. I'm gonna be getting some more of these throughout my career. This is just the first of many. Chris White says, "Man, I hadn't even heard of who that. I hadn't either. I forgot what it sounds like." Clay Bell says, "Luck is changing, coach." Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It really is. William Amy says, "I'm not taking nothing. Uh, I ain't taking none of these opponents lightly." Nah, you can't. At the end of the day, this is National Football League, man. Tadaro says, "I don't want to play the Lions or Vikings early. Uh, the way they play, the way that they're playing right now, I ain't scared of nobody. Anybody could get it." In the words of Janet Jackson, anytime. Wait a minute, hold on. Any place, look, anytime, any place, bro, they can get it. I don't even care. They can get it. I'm ready for it. In the words of T.I., I'm ready for whatever. Somebody better tell them. Because at the end of the day, it's anytime. What else? Any place. TW says, how good receiving core could be if number 8 played this season like number 4 for boy. Man, look, I whenever he gets the ball, he looks like a first round pick. Like whenever he caught that corner route the other day, yesterday he caught that corner route. He took off running. I was like, ain't no way that boy 6'6", 250. That boy moving like that boy running like he running from the police. Ain't no way that boy 6'6", 250. Heck no. But shoot, he was getting it. He was getting it. Curtis said, "This man funny." Man, nah, bro. This is the chat, man. Shouts out to everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat was funny. Shouts out to y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming on and chopping it up with old country boy. Also, make sure that y'all hit that subscribe button. Share the channel with your friends and family. If you do that, I would definitely appreciate it. And I'll dance at your wedding one day, man. Definitely dance at your wedding. But yeah, I mean, look, I know that I was on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else, and everybody was, pulling their hair out and, setting cars on fire, dancing on top of cars and busting out the windows like Michael Jackson at the end of that video. I understand that. I understand that. Talking about that the defense isn't living up to their expectations, but at the end of the day, it's the team living up to your expectations. We're 4-2. Let's enjoy it. Like my homeboy ATLGA Faithful said, shouts out to you, my brother. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on YouTube. Great Atlanta Falcons content creator. My homeboy ATLGA Faithful says, now it's on to Seattle. Now it's on to Seattle because you look at that Seattle Seahawks team, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're number 1 in the league in passing yards. Yep. They're first in the league in passing yards, 276 yards a game. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Geno Smith gonna throw a pig. I'm calling that. Excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Geno Smith throwing a pick on Sunday. Is it Sunday in the summer? If it is, Geno Smith throwing a pick on Sunday because they throw the ball. Look, they air that thing out, and you got too much talent back there in that secondary. And Geno Smith's gonna try to stretch the field. That's one thing about Geno. Sometimes he just can't stay patient. He just can't stay patient sometimes. So I feel like we're going to get at least one pick on Sunday. It's going to be a tough game. Seattle's better than a lot of people. A lot of people expected. So I mean, look, y'all, we got this dub on Sunday. We got to see if we can keep it up. We got to see if we can keep it up. Tyler Russ says, I'm thinking Bates for 2 picks. Bates had a pick on Sunday, but they called that thing back. He had him one on Sunday. Now don't get slipping on Jesse. Chris White says, what other team can you let all their picks sit and watch? We're going to be a top 3 team next year after a deep run this season. Look, I ain't even knocking it. I ain't even knocking it, Chris. No lies told. If you lying, you flying, Bo. Cool Beans says, smash that like button, please. We would definitely appreciate it. Drake Murphy says, Geno Smith is not him. Hello. He threw for he threw what 2 against the San Francisco 49ers on Thursday Night Football, though, beloved. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I feel like Geno's gonna be good for one of them because he gonna try to air that thing out. He's gonna try to. He's gonna check. He's gonna try to check down a few times. He's gonna be looking for that shot, you know. And I feel like we're gonna catch him slipping. Tremel says we beating Seattle. Book it. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, Tremel. See, he always coming here crunk with it. That's what I'm talking about, Tremel. He said we beating Seattle. Book it. Will Amy says their coach got some defensive player. He used a lot of press coverage and cornerback blitz. Well, look, playing a veteran quarterback like Kirk Cousins, if you do come with that cornerback blitz, I pray for you. I pray he don't see it because Draw's getting burned off. If he catch that cornerback blitzing, and then you have that second and a half where you got somebody that's just open, or if he notices that somebody's leaning a little bit one way to try to cover behind that cornerback, and that cornerback is acting like he's coming down, Draw's getting burned off, Bo. Draw's getting burnt off, and you better hope there's a local Dollar Tree somewhere in the area where you could go get you a $7 pack of draws because he ain't finna play no games with you. Danny Johnson says AJ needs some help. Hey man, this look, it's you got Clark Phillips. You got Clark Phillips. Dre says the C tickets came to the A town, aka the Mercedes Benz. We don't have to deal with that 12 man though, below. And you're right. You're right. ATLGA Faithful says Roddy says Seattle never been on our level. Well, you know how Roddy feel about Seattle. Dr. Slick, what in the world, Bo? What's going on with you, man? Hope you're enjoying this 4-2. I hope you're enjoying this 4-2 start to the season. Curtis Glass says, look here, Bo. Seattle about to go on a 4 where they're gonna be losing 4 in a row. I'm hoping that you're right. I hope they continue streaking down and we continue streaking up. I mean, if we do that, we're gonna be good because go ahead and be honest with you. You got you a battle that next week. That next week after that Seattle game, you're gonna have your hands full. You got Tampa Bay after that game, you're gonna have your hands full down there in Tampa. Because them boys, they drinking the Kool-Aid. And they gonna be up, they gonna be trying to get back. They're gonna be trying to get it back in blood after losing that game in overtime. So yeah, these next 2 games, they're gonna be very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm excited to see it, man. I'm definitely excited to see it. Well, look at here, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all up. Thank y'all so much for coming on and chopping it up with old country boy. Look at here, like I said, let's enjoy being 4-2. And we can't just sit here and complain about the defense. I mean, let's look at this as an opportunity. Let's look at this as an opportunity for improvement. Y'all make sure that y'all share the channel with your friends and family. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. Also, make sure that you hit that like button. You hit the like button for me. You know, I'll be dancing at your wedding one day. I'll be up and down like, hey, what's going on, Dre? I'm in here. I'm in here, Dre. What's going on, Will Amy? I'm in here. TW, Curtis Glass. I'm in here. Let's get it. I'll be dancing at your wedding one day. Thank y'all so much, man. Y'all already know what time it is. Rise up. 8 time down. We ready. Where in the world, Bo?